Hi, this is a beautiful place to do sitting butterfly. So here's a sitting butterfly video that you can do as a companion to your 20-minute practice weekly. I just happen to be just on a lovely trail here on a Sunday, kind of unexpectedly. So yeah, go ahead and join me. And many of you will appreciate having pillows underneath your knees. So get yourself comfortable, pillows underneath both knees, maybe a pillow underneath your bum. I'm a little bit on an incline, so this is actually a really sweet place to do this because there's actually a little bit of support for the lower lumbar and the abdominals. So let's start the 20 minutes now. And we'll go till, yeah, so we'll go till a little bit after then, and so let's begin. I'm taking a moment to settle here, and the first thing is to notice how I'm finding myself in relationship with gravity right now. And the first place you really look for that is in your sits bones, those bones that we sit on. A lot of times we're slouching and we're way back here, but we're giving ourselves a gentle request to sit up, and a gentle request to see if we can be situated a little further onto our sits bones. If it feels good, feel free to hold the ankles. You don't have to. You can have your arms wherever you like. I just ask that you not be here on a phone or holding a book, because that's going to do something else to the torso. We want this to be really free because we're asking our core muscles to recruit, to remember how they recruit, to build their memory of recruiting around the major postural muscles of the spine, the posterior spine, the anterior spine, the back muscles, the abdominal muscles, and all the fascia, together with the pelvic floor, right? So connecting with the sits bones. Before we even change anything, let's just notice how our body is landing onto the sits bones, onto the floor, onto the ground. And as we're settling into the practice, let's notice our breath and our sits bones. Let's notice what it takes for the mind to let go of whatever it was doing a few minutes ago. Let's applaud and celebrate our minds for letting go of that and letting the body have its moment. Yeah? Thank you, mind, for letting go and letting ourselves be fully present. Letting ourselves come to this moment. Come to how we're landing. In the sits bones, on the floor, on the ground, in our breath. Some of you might appreciate having a hand on your belly and intentionally allowing the breath to fill the belly in. If you're noticing that you tend to breathe up in the upper chest, no worries, we're just going to give it a little tension. Just notice how you're breathing. What happens in your rib cage as you take a breath? What part of your body is moving? Is it the lower belly? Is it the chest? Is it both? Allow whatever's there to be here in this moment. Allow your noticing to be here in this moment. Allow however you're showing up in this moment to be here. We're here to invite our spine to remember how to both root itself in the sits bones and then sitting up out of them. And it takes time. There's going to be some muscles at first when we do this practice that will be uncomfortable. They may be used to being tight and therefore can't allow certain ease yet. That's okay. That's what this 20 minutes is for. You know, like if we have a big block of frozen butter, here we are. We've made the conditions for that butter to start to melt. And the conditions for our deeper supports to wake up slowly. Slowly. Allowing the pace of the body, respecting the pace of the body is a lovely way to come into alignment with it. When you're with me in session, remember how slowly we go sometimes. How slowly things happen. And if it feels good, maybe you can recall a moment of being on the table. Maybe there was a moment where your body had discovered some ease. And feel free to really let yourself remember that. Let your body remember how good that felt. And we can check in with our upper body here. Let's see, a lot of us will have tight upper trap muscles. This is our upper back here. This is our shoulder joint. And here's our upper back between the neck and the shoulder joint. The muscles of the upper back for a lot of us are very tight, right? Let's see if we can feel our sits bones and allow a gentle circle of the upper body. Maybe your neck wants to do a little circle here just to stay loose. We're not trying to lock. We're not trying to lock any part of the torso and upper body. We want all this to have some freedom and movement. We are inviting our core to kind of be in a remembering its mode of turning on, right? So this we're going to keep asking to be, right? We're going to keep asking this to keep holding and to keep holding us up. But up here, you know, allow yourself Feels good to have your arms out. Stay in touch with your breath, just gently. If it feels good, you could tie a movement with your breath, like extension of your neck on the inhale, and a gentle flexion of the neck forward on the exhale. Inhaling, extending the neck gently. Exhaling, allowing it to gently fold forward. And now we're just a little past the halfway mark. Thank you so much. We got through half of it. We got through half of it. We're halfway through a weekly practice. I like to call it a weekly practice because the idea is to have a practice we can maintain forever. We're kind of always going to need to train ourselves to be upright, because there will always be gravity and the forces of the things that we do that will bring us forward into these postures, right? There's always going to be something bringing us this way. So we're always going to need practices to train the body, like, oh yeah, our physiology was meant to be in harmony, kind of, with some uprightness, and the body responds, thankfully, with gentleness, with persistence. If you feel like doing this more than once a week, feel free. However, for a lot of us who have a perfectionist, high bar of, achievement, we want to just save ourselves from little disappointments. And so for those of us, I have that too, continuing to set lots of goals. There will be times when we won't be able to achieve all of them. So, and for those of us who get hard on ourselves when we don't achieve those, it can be, a little extra work bouncing back, right? So that's again why I like something very sustainable, very small, but very consistent. And we just know that we're going to be doing this or something like it, or other practices like it, our whole life. Our whole life. This or something like it, and this is the most, to me, that what I found, this is very neutral, very balancing, kind of simple. We're just sitting, breathing with our sits bones, allowing our sits bones to be with us in the breath, right? Being with our breath. How many hundreds of times the mind has wanted to come in and tell us what's next, or what we should have processed from earlier, or what we should plan for the future, or memories or associations. The mind, that's the nature of the mind. So for every moment we can remember to come back, yay, we get to celebrate that. Let's celebrate those moments. It's important to celebrate those moments. So we make this moment a warm place to be. We get a warm welcome for the moments where the mind has given us respite. Thank you. Thank you, mind. for letting another kind of fullness, our awareness, the spaciousness of the possibilities of our awareness in ourselves, and just being in the space of this life. Feeling the space of where we are. That's not all made of mind. There's a lot of emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic soup, of course, but that's not all mind. There's other awarenesses and consciousnesses also, right? That are deeper than the mind. What we call the mind, how the mind manifests itself in the day-to-day chatter, the internal monologue. There's deeper, right? I'm just appreciating this day on this trail, surrounded by pine trees, old growth pine trees, fir trees, rock outcroppings, sitting in the sun. Oh, if you have sun where you are, enjoy. If you have clouds where you are, enjoy the clouds too, I guess. Again, notice myself, and then, just for another few more minutes. Just another few more minutes. Check your knees and thighs. How are they doing? You can hold them up a little bit. Don't make these inner thighs work right now. Don't constrict your inner thighs right now. But you can support them. You can raise them up a little bit just to allow them to stay a little bit loose. When we come out of this posture in a few minutes here, we're going to be going very slowly. We don't want to pop up quickly, right? Because in doing this, we're stretching our inner thigh muscles, and if you're not used to sitting with your hips open and your thighs splayed out, you want to come out of it very slowly before you give it the demand of walking again. So be prepared not to jump up, okay? I don't want you to pull a muscle, because it hurts to pull a muscle, and I've done it, and some of my clients have done it, and I feel bad when my client pulls a muscle coming out of it. So let's be real careful, okay? We're gonna come out of this with a lot of gentleness, because gentleness is such the antidote, the balm, the salve to our very busy, very demanding lives, a lot of us, right? We need gentleness. Gentleness is the antidote, not numbness. And but you know, hey, no judgment. If I'm not saying don't take pain medication if you need it. I'm not saying don't check out if you need to. There are times when the demands and the resources are low that checking out is going to be the thing that's needed. So no judgment, but over time, when there's availability, we build little by little the capacity to nurture these moments of gentleness so that our bodies start to attune to gentleness. Even our minds and emotions can start to attune to gentleness towards ourselves. Whoop, there again, I'm going like this, just for a few more minutes. A gentle request to keep sitting up. A few more seconds here. Thanks for being in this practice with me. All right, let's start to slowly come out. So really gently, I'm gonna lift this leg. I'm not gonna move my leg. I'm only moving my arms. All right. And now I'm gonna gently allow my leg to come forward. I'm gonna let it sit here for a second. I'm gonna wiggle it. Gonna just shake and jostle. Ooh, that feels good. Shake, just jostle it a little bit. Wake it up. um, yeah, some of you are tend toward flexibility, and so you may not need to go as slow as some of us who are less flexible. But it's still a good idea, once you're done stretching something, allow it to gently come out of that first before you give it the demand to start working. I know I'm a broken record here, but that's because I don't want you to pull a muscle. Here we go. We're lifting this leg, allowing it to gently come forward. Give it a little jostle, give it a little shake, wiggle our legs. And, I'm past my youth card, so that's another reason to go slowly out of sitting posture. my clients who have their youth card, it'll be easier for you to come out. My clients who are 40, 45 and older, take your time. Take your time. That's gentleness. Take your time. It pays off because the body appreciates, oh, thank you for giving me a moment to recompose myself and be ready for the next thing. Okay. All right. You've done your practice. Congratulations. Have a lovely rest of your day.